So we got the garden out here, and it's actually pretty close to the woods, and the woods have no shortage of leaves, but the question is, how do you get all of that into here in a way that it's going to help it break down and be pretty efficient? So what I do is I mow all of these leaves here, and I get them into these piles where they've already been mown over several times. It's going to be easier for them to break down. And then what we do, we actually rake them on to a tarp here, and this tarp then is connected. It's got these grommets in it, and I've got it connected onto these old carabiners here to ratchet straps, and those ratchet straps are just tightened to the back of the zero turn here. So I try and keep it about where these are about even, where they're gonna pull this straight, and then the weight of the leaves on top of this are actually gonna hold it down and in place, keep it from flopping over and that sort of thing. So I'll go ahead and load this one up, and I want to show you just how well this pulls across the yard. When you're dragging this tarp around, you want to make sure you've got good, clear ways to go. If you're going over stumps and sticks, you'll probably either get snagged or you'll rip something. So I am using a very old tarp here, but there are some obvious drawbacks, especially to that, where these are not going to necessarily last very long if you overload this, and I definitely had just now for this demonstration, but just wanted to be upfront on that you will run into that issue if especially your tarp is like mine, where it's gone through several beatings throughout the years, by no means is new. And it would also work better if I had got all these collected back when I first mowed them, instead of letting them sit out, get rained on, and really accumulate lots of weight because of all of that extra moisture. Now, that moisture will be helpful when they're decomposing, but that moisture is not helpful in trying to get all of these moved over here. Yeah, overall, I think it's worth doing. I think it's a lot quicker in getting these over here and easier to get them unloaded. Last year I was going around with one of those little leaf sweepers that you pull behind, but then really it was not nearly as effective as just raking it straight into the trailer. So then I thought, you know, what's actually a better way to get this done other than just raking all these into a trailer and needing to then empty that out. And that's kind of how I came up with this idea of just raking these leaves directly onto this tarp, pulling that tarp where I need to, just rake it straight off and directly apply it. So overall, I think this is actually a really good method, as long as you don't overload your tarp with leaves, and as long as your tarp isn't already too old or damaged in order to get it pulled around. But I think you would want one of these tarps that does have the grommets if you're going to try and cut into a cheaper tarp, one that doesn't have quite the rigidity that this one does. You might have more difficulty with that. And if you don't have a clear path between where you're collecting your leaves and your garden space, you also may not want to do this. But if you've got an old tarp with the grommets already, you got some ratchet straps, you got a garden tractor or zero turn, I think this is definitely worth giving a shot. But if you'd like to see how I collected up my leaves last year, check out this video here. Or if you want to see how I've been building this garden fence, check this one out here. Or just check out the whole gardening playlist over here. Thanks for watching.